guys! Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is somewhat special because we are going to be talking about relationship anxiety and relationship OCD. So on my Instagram last week and then today as well, I submitted you guys like a Google form where you could submit your questions completely anonymous and ask me whatever you wanted to know about ROCD and like struggling, what you're thinking about, whatever. And I found that a lot of you guys reached out to me, which was super cool. I'm guessing the anonymous thing is very helpful because for some reason there's still a stigma about mental health and it's really stupid. But either way, I'm gonna try and pull up the questions on my computer down here, so if you see me like looking down here, that's why. I got about 25 responses, a lot of them kind of really similar to each other. They're like, you know, because we all suffer from the same things whether or not you realize it. Before we go ahead and like jump in, I have a couple announcements I want to make. One, I'm engaged! That was really embarrassing. Arthur asked me to marry him last week. He put a ring on it, and yes, I'm very anxious. So I will answer your questions about all of that, but that's a big announcement. I'm getting married. Another couple disclaimers. Obviously, I'm not a licensed therapist or counselor. I don't even have a lot of peer training. I mostly just know by experience and what I've read, which strangely enough is more helpful sometimes than, you know, reading stuff, just kind of hearing what other people are going through. So please don't, I'm not a doctor. I'm not gonna what I say is not fact. It's just my opinion, how I feel about things, what I think, opinions, not facts. Also, I'm coming off, getting rid of a cold. So if you hear me and I sound clogged, you know, if I like nasally, I know, it's annoying. Again, I'm gonna jump right into it because this intro is already way too long and I know you're watching this either hoping I answer your question or you're really stressed out. So let's start. The first question is, how did you overcome ROCD and are you planning on getting married? So this was asked obviously before I got engaged. To answer the second part, yes, I do plan on getting married. And how did I overcome ROCD? So I will go into this a little bit further in some other questions, but I would say I overcame ROCD by learning as much as I could about it and reading a lot about it and studying it almost as if my life depended on it, because in the moment it did. And so I did a lot of studying, a lot of reading, and here I am. I still suffer from it. It's great. But it doesn't nearly affect my daily life as much as it used to. What's up? Alright, guess I'll be gonna be in this part. I feel like for a lot of OCD, it's mostly a pattern that your brain works in and like a pattern that you follow and you've probably followed for most of your life. If you actually don't realize that, it probably is true. And so learning about OCD and researching it often can kind of help you uncover the patterns in your own brain, which eventually can help you break them. Next question says, what do you do when you feel that you don't love your partner anymore? Well, this can go either way. I think if you're having thoughts about maybe you don't love your partner anymore, those are valid. A lot of people have thoughts like that. But my guess is the reason you're asking me this and the reason you're Googling this and you're looking for an answer for this question is because you do love your boyfriend. And this is something that I struggled with. This is probably my biggest trigger, which is the whole am I falling out of love? Do I love my partner? Because it's a question that most people think you should be able to answer right away. And it's not a simple answer. I love Arthur some days, and I hate him some days. And some days I just like him. It's just kind of like, you know, feelings, they come and go, and they ebb and flow. I think that's the correct word. But love is an action, and that's something that I've learned is even when I was constantly thinking that I didn't love Arthur, I still found myself doing acts of love, which for me was, you know, kissing his forehead goodbye when I leave for work in the morning, or making him breakfast, or making him dinner, or holding his hand. It's like, it's all these different actions that your brain and your body just kind of naturally does. And the things you do for someone, if it's an action. And I think that was something that really helped me pull away from that intrusive thought. The point of this illness is that your brain is going to be constantly creating thoughts and questions and doubts that don't have answers. If you say, oh, I don't love my boyfriend anymore, and you are like, yeah, I don't, then the question goes away, and then the question becomes, what do I do now that I don't love my boyfriend anymore? Like, should we break up? And that might be triggering you, and I know it's really scary, but most likely when you answer, do I love my boyfriend? And you say yes, the question doesn't go away. And if you say no, the question doesn't go away. And you'll notice that a lot of questions are like that. And sorry if that got really confusing. I didn't really answer that correctly, but it's all about the thought itself and not what the thought is telling you. And again, I'll get into that a little bit more. What? Hi. Can I help you? You want to play? Do you want to play? I'm trying to film a video. I'm trying to film a video. Next question. How do you deal with low libido? Libido? I know what that word means, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It's basically like a low sex drive. I'm a very, very personal person. Like, I do not like to talk about my sex life on the internet to anybody in my life other than Arthur. And it's not abnormal. It's just not for me. Like, I don't like people to know that I have sex, even though I do. But I don't like to talk about it. I don't know why. It's a weird thing I have. It's stupid. I don't talk to anybody about it. It makes me very uncomfortable. But I will answer this question because I feel like it's very important, and it's something that I struggle with a lot. But in general, having a lot of anxiety, I've learned from my experience, really puts a wall in between you and feeling any other emotion, whether it's love or maybe lust, whatever it is. But whenever you're anxious, I found that I had a very hard time connecting with anybody about anything. My entire life, I've had a very low sex drive my whole life. And that doesn't mean I don't enjoy it or, whatever. I already don't like where this conversation is going. But I've always had a low sex drive, and it was never something that was like a problem. I have always had a low sex drive, and it helps when your partner is either similar or respects your, feelings and what you do and don't want to do. Ever since I've been taking Zoloft, I think I'm on, 75 milligrams right now. Ever since I've been taking Zoloft, my sex drive has plummeted. Alfie, please stop barking. This is very important. It's hard because when you have ROCD and you have a low sex drive, you feel that you have a low sex drive because of your partner. But most of the time that's not true, because generally it makes sense if you take a step back and look at your anxiety. I'm sure you're anxious if you're asking me this question. I think what I did is I learned to just accept that I was someone that had a low sex drive. About it, as long as both of our needs are met and we're communicating about it and we're okay with it, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Just know that it most likely has nothing to do with your partner, and it's literally all in your head, because that's where I spend 100% of my time is in my head. Next question. Did you have I just bit my lip. Did you have situations where you think you just have to break up with your partner to stop suffering? All the time. I can't tell you how many times when I was first starting out with this, I was just like, why am I putting myself through all this shit for no reason? Why don't I just freaking leave my boyfriend and all of this will go away? Like, wouldn't that be the strong thing to do? Like, if I finally get up the courage and be strong, wouldn't that mean like finally like doing what's best for me and leaving? Being strong does not mean leaving your partner. Most cases, no. Being strong means working through whatever issues are going through in your head, because that's where this all is. It's all in your head. It's all gibberish. It's gibberish. And the thing is, if you leave your partner now because you're having all these anxious thoughts, is he the one? Do I love him? I'm not turned on enough. What's happening? I think he's ugly sometimes. And you meet someone else. Who's to say a year after that, you're not going to ask the same thing about the person you're with then? You know, you think you'll be completely certain when the time comes. Like, you'll know for sure. And that's never the case because, unfortunately, if you have anxiety, especially if you have OCD, you doubt everything. That's why they call it the doubting disease. I guess the answer to your question is yes, I do all the time. But I know that's not the answer because I have left my boyfriend. If you watched my ROCD story, I did leave my boyfriend. And I expected instant relief. And I did get instant relief from my intrusive thoughts. But everything else that came with that was much worse. I can just tell you right now, it hurts so much more to lose something because you gave up than it is to kind of stick it out and hold on. Because in the end, you can say you gave it your all. And what good is giving up? It never does anyone good. Okay. This is a long one. I recently been told my intrusive thoughts could be characterized by OCD. At one point, I had intense anxiety and my relationship thoughts were the only thing I could think about. Yep. I worked through it and realized it was most likely ROCD. Thoughts like, what if I don't love him anymore? Yes. The what ifs in the beginning of these are very important. Or what if I'm not attracted to him, etc., etc. Now I get flare-ups here and there and it has me thinking a lot. This could be society's fault, media, yes, social media, etc., portraying the relationship paradise. Anyways, love you and your post, but here's my question. Thanks. Do you think a lot of people suffer from ROCD and have no idea that ROCD is even a real thing, and that's why breakups and divorce rate is so high? 100% yes. If I could scream this from the mountaintops, relationship anxiety is in everybody. Everybody in this world. Hi, baby boy. I think I gotta take him out to go to the bathroom. Hold on. Sorry. Again, I'm like chasing light right now because the sun's about to go down, so if it gets dark, like, I'm really sorry. Yes, I believe everybody has relationship anxiety. Everybody. It's just a matter of how much can you handle it. I think no matter where you are in your relationship, whether the beginning or the end, you're gonna ask those questions of, do I love this person? Do I love them enough? Am I in love with them? Whatever you end up going on in your mind, it's a matter of how you react to it. If you're an anxious person, when you hear questions like that in your head, they scare you because you feel, and this is especially known from like Hollywood and media, but they say that doubt means don't. So when you start to have these questions like, do I? You kind of ask yourself, if I did, like, why would I have to ask myself this question to be sure? And then you just start questioning everything. There was an episode, I don't know if you watch Black Mirror. The episode Hang the DJ, which features my favorite Smiths song. But other than that, there is a clip, and I don't know if I can include it in here because like copyright stuff.
I don't know how to add videos onto like other videos, and I really don't want to get copyrighted. I will include a link in the description bar, info bar, whatever, that literally explains what this episode is trying to say, and it's so important. I highly suggest you watch it, so check down there.
Okay, moving on. This is going to be a really long video. I'm really sorry. Last question, because the sun's going down and it's getting dark. It says, did your my dog is like on something right now. Did your ROCD make you feel numb, like totally hopeless when you just wanted to leave your boyfriend and run? Did his name / people asking about you and him trigger sadness? Yes to all of these, honestly. You guys are just like, you don't realize how many people are experiencing the same thing you are, but definitely felt very numb and hopeless. That's not necessarily a symptom of ROCD, that is a symptom of depression. So my advice to you would be, please go get some help, go talk to someone, find a therapist, explain to them what's going on. Because once you get that low, it's really difficult to pick yourself back up again on your own. Help is really important, and I swear by it. Also, yes, I mean, as I mentioned in my ROCD video back, Arthur and I went to a wedding the weekend that my intrusive thoughts started, and I felt terrible because people would be like, oh, look at you two, you're so cute, like, this is gonna be you guys are gonna be next. And I'm sitting there in my head thinking, like, I might break up with him tomorrow, and everybody's asking when we're getting married, and it makes you feel like absolute shit, because you're like, I'm a terrible person, I want to cry, I don't know what I'm doing, and then everybody around you is expecting everything to be fine, and you have that urge to pretend like everything's fine. That's normal, I think, but I think you have to realize that the problem is never the relationship. It's usually just in your head, how you perceive it, how you perceive other things, whatever. That is it for part 1. I will definitely do a part 2 because I have probably like 15 more questions that I want to answer, and they might even add up before then. But that's it for this video. If you liked these videos and you want me to keep answering questions, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And you can leave comments down below about your own intrusive thoughts or anything you're dealing with. I'll try to answer them and help as much as I can. You can also DM me on Instagram. I've actually created an Instagram just for ROCD where people can contact me if they need help. The username is ROCD and me, and you can go and subscribe. Go ahead and click on it. Go to Instagram. Follow me. If you need help, DM me. That's it. I hope this helped you guys. If your question didn't get answered, don't worry. You still have time to answer it because I'm going to make this a series. So the link to ask me a question is in the description, and you can ask anonymously. You can put your name at the end if you want. Put your name, whatever you want to do. Just keep on asking me questions because I love helping you guys. I love answering them. And I'm talking for a long time. Yeah, I will see you in the Q&A part 2. Bye.